Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. Yes, it is last weekend today, 7 p.m. Eastern time on a Tuesday. So happy you decided to join me today. Lots of stuff happened over the weekend. Happy to have a chat about that and talk to you about how the news picked it up, what they're thinking and what we should be thinking, because maybe it isn't always the standardized left-right paradigm that we see all the time. As always, please like, comment, and share. Do all three of those things. It's important. Let people know that you're out there. I bug you about it. Please don't. I'm not stopping. Put on that comment. Let those algorithms hit. Like, comment, share. All those things matter. Follow me on Twitter. Twitter is important. People follow us on Twitter. So head on over there. If you haven't followed me already, go ahead. If you don't have Twitter, no worries. You probably got a YouTube or you're in YouTube or something. So go ahead and click subscribe to that Twitter. Last but not least, if you haven't done Larry Sharpe, that means the Sharpe Way on Facebook, it's time. It really is. It's time. Absolutely. Well, this weekend, there's a lot of things going on, obviously. One of the things I want to bring up is people are telling me how upset they are in general with how the presidential elections are going, how nasty and mean and all those things. And I got to tell you, I am very concerned also. And what I'm most concerned about, believe it or not, is not actually the outcome. I'm concerned, obviously, as many of us are, but I'm not as concerned with the outcome I'm not as concerned with the outcome as I am with the results afterwards, the aftermath. The aftermath, I am concerned. Could you imagine if things don't go well? What happens if, because of COVID, people can't vote, or there's a bunch of mail-in, or all those types of things, and people think the world's ending and it's a conspiracy? Yes, I'm concerned. And I'm going to start this weekend with something I haven't started with recently, which is I'm actually going to start, if I can, actually with Fareed. Fareed is, as always, you guys, I love Fareed. Fareed, while is super smart, he's always anti-Trump. So please accept that he's anti-Trump. He's always going to be anti-Trump. It's who he is. His ideology pushes him that way. So try to, if you're anti-Trump, great. If you're not, try to push past it just to hear what he's saying, because a lot of the stuff he's talking about is actually real. Like, his data is good, even though his take on it is not always the best. All right.
We should not really be shocked by Donald Trump's admission in an interview with Chris Wallace that he might not accept the results of the November election. After all, he said that before the 2016 election as well.
And this is a point. Not only him, lots of people are going to believe that. Imagine if Trump wins, or if he loses, whichever, right? If Trump wins, there's tens of millions of Americans who are going to be like, it was fixed. Trump won it. He got the Russians to do it, right? Whatever, right? If Trump loses, see, it was a deep state. It was QAnon, whatever, right? It was that. Someone's going to say, tens of millions of Americans are going to say, it's rigged. That's a problem. That is my concern. And Fareed is right here.
But the situation now is far more dangerous. For months, Trump has been unleashing forces that come November could cause tens of millions of Americans to be convinced that the election was rigged.
But this isn't just Trump. This is Trump, but it's not only Trump, right? This is a bunch of people saying voter suppression, right? The left talks about voter suppression. The right talks about voter fraud. So you've got both sides talking about this already. You've got the right saying how, oh, well, it's a Biden gate in Ukraine. You got the left saying, oh, no, it's Trump gate, right? So you've got this coming from both sides.
So even if Trump leaves office in January, voluntarily or not, he will leave behind a political climate that could verge on civil war.
People are teasing me. I've been saying this for a long time. And now, again, I bring this up often on Tuesday nights because I want you guys to realize that when I talk about this months ago, whatever I bring up, eventually the mainstream media begins to pop up. And again, Fareed Zakaria is mainstream CNN Sunday morning show, and he's bringing it up, right? This isn't just the crazy people on the internet talking aren't always crazy. Many times they're crazy, but sometimes they're not. And in this case, this is a serious problem. right? And this is why you will see me so often fight to keep the liberty movement going. Larry, why do you stay Libertarian Party? Because it's the best chance we have to absorb the people who, once this is over, once November's done, whatever the tens of millions of people who are unhappy and think the world's ending, we have to have a home for them. Or they're going to either resort to violence, sporadic violence, which he says civil war, I think sporadic violence, or they're going to check out. Both are the wrong answer. I don't want my neighbors thinking violence, and I don't want my neighbors checking out. Neither of two are the good answer. We have to be there. I need us to be there. It's important.
Trump is an avid fan of conspiracy theories to begin. His political rise started with one, the notion that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. He has embraced the most noxious peddler of falsehoods, Alex Jones. Trump and his associates have been stoking the QAnon movement.
All true, but, and there's a huge but here, the left is guilty of this too. They're all guilty of this. Fareed is only hammering Trump because he's anti-Trump. And I get that. I understand that's where his head is. And when you watch CNN, and you got to understand they are anti-Trump, it doesn't mean Fareed is wrong, right? It doesn't mean that, right? It does mean it means that he's spinning it, is what I'm saying, right? These two sides are awful. Maybe I was happy when they only propped each other up. I don't know. It's a good question. Absolutely. It's not going to be over, Larry. Not in your or my lifetime. Ben, sadly, I think you're right. It's not going to be over, but we can make it better, right? The issue is, prior to our Civil War, we had issues and concerns and people. We had a third party. The Republican Party was a third party, right? Prior to the Civil War. It was Whigs and Democrats, and the Whigs lost, and Republicans took over. So last time a third party took over, it was on the cusp of a civil war. My hope is we can take over also, but avoid the bloody civil war and instead make it a peaceful revolution. That's what I want, Ben. And maybe you're right. And maybe I'm fooling myself. It's possible. I don't know, but I don't care. The alternative, I will not accept. That's it. And if I'm going to live in my bubble, then thank you, Ben. I will live in my bubble. I hope you will all join me in my bubble. That is what I hope. I hope you will all join me in my bubble because I think we could do it. I think we could do it. So, all right, let me keep going.
Which imagines a battle between the president and a deep state of high-ranking officials and liberal elites who practice child torture and satanic worship. Yes, check it out. All these instincts are now being channeled.
Now, let me touch a lot of these pieces here. All of the best conspiracy theories, most are not true. There are some that are. Most are not true. But all the ones that have any legs are always based on a grain of truth, right? So I do not believe that there are a bunch of satanic child rapists, whatever. I don't believe that. I think that's not true. I think there's no way that could have been held and somehow people could have, made sure that no way that could have been that wouldn't be exposed decades ago. Can't believe that. With that in mind, there are absolutely elites who are helping to move policy. There are absolutely elites and people who are in the government who've been in the government for 30 or 40 years. Absolutely, that does exist. So it's based on something true, I think, taken too far.
Into one idea, one great conspiracy, that the November vote will be rigged.
Yes, that is my worry.
Some take comfort from the polls, believing Joe Biden will win with a large enough margin to make all these concerns irrelevant. Maybe.
He's right. Maybe. Who knows what could happen? Is it possible that all the polls are right and Biden's going to crush Trump? It's possible. I don't know that. We thought in 2016 Trump would never win. Who knows, right? I don't know. My point is, either way, we're in trouble. It doesn't matter if the polls are right? We as Americans are going to suffer whether the polls are completely correct, kind of correct, or completely wrong. We're going to suffer. For you, those of you who want Trump to win, we still suffer if Trump wins. For those who want Trump to lose, we still suffer if Trump loses. We don't all of a sudden become great because, oh, your guy won. That's not how this works. And that's what I want to bring up, that what his answer is.
But it is also quite possible that things will get very messy in November.
Yes.
Assuming we are still in the midst of a pandemic,
Yep.
all 50 states will have instituted new measures relating to voting, from
Yep.
social distancing rules
Yep.
to mail-in ballots.
Yep.
Norm Ornstein writes in The Atlantic, the combination of fewer polling places because of the pandemic, the need to space out voters in lines, and fewer poll workers could turn November 3rd into a disaster that spirals into January.
This is what I'm seriously concerned about, because there are rules and regulations that we have to follow that we may not be able to. And then states are going to have to make their own rules. And when states make their own rules, you know what? If New York makes its own rules, no one's going to really care. Everyone knows New York is going Biden. If South Carolina makes its own rules, no one's really going to care, but no, South Carolina's going Trump. What if Florida does? Pennsylvania does? Michigan does? Oh my God. Imagine what is going to happen in this country if any of these swing states actually make their own rules because they can't get things done, right? They have to turn people away or change how things are done. Oh my God. I hope you're wrong. I don't want it to be bloody. I don't want it to be bloody at all. Trump's stream watch about 17,000 viewers right now. Oh, that's terrible. Very low. Very low. Wow. I hope he gets for him, his own self. I hope he gets higher than that. Wow, that's terrible for him. So yeah. Yeah. So how can we make the media be accountable to the vision they constantly incite? Jen, there's really only one way, and we're doing it very slowly by not watching them. And you're seeing how that's happening. But the problem is, as we stop watching, one of the reasons why I do this show, Janie, one of the reasons why I do it is most people stick to their own media sources, and they tend to be where they are, right? If you lean left, you tend to watch more left media. If you lean right, you tend to watch more right media. That's not a 100% rule, but it's a tendency for most Americans. You feel most comfortable hearing that side because you lean one way or the other, which means you hear one message again and again and again and again and again. Fox News was the best at that. Actually, it's not true. When it came to TV, radio did it better first. The radio, the morning show people in the radio morning show, if you ever watched it, I used to listen to radio a lot because I was in sales 20, 30 years ago. I was in sales, and I would listen to the radio often as I'm driving my cars. I was a traveling salesperson, right? So the morning news would come up with the idea or the concept, and then each jock, as they moved up, would keep talking about it. When it came to TV, CNN didn't do that well. Fox News did it great. Now MSNBC copied Fox, and then now CNN copies Fox also. But CNN does a better job of it than MSNBC, of saying, here's the narrative, let's keep talking through the entire day. So if you're watching that, you keep hearing the same narrative. That's what you just keep hearing. So I think in this case, how do we do it? By not watching them and by having better aggregates. I trying to become an aggregate. For those who don't know what that means, an aggregate is someone who brings news together to show others, right? They bring news together to show others. And I think if we do that, we'll be better off if we have better news aggregates. And they're trying it already. There's one called Smart News. That's a news aggregate, right? I don't know if Smart News is good or not. I've just seen the commercials. They may be great. They may be terrible. But that's what I mean. More news aggregates that pick pieces from all over to give us more of a balanced look so that I watch Fox News. I watch CNN. And people get mad at me. My right friends, how do you watch CNN? Because I want to know. All my left friends, and I live in New York City, you watch Fox News? Yeah, because I want to know. So you see, I will have clips from Fox, I'll have clips from CNN, clips from HBO, because I'm trying to get the best rounded that I can possibly get and put them out here. I hope that made sense. Yes. I'm seriously concerned as well. The U.S. is highly unstable. Yes, and people are feeling it. I was talking to my team today. We're all feeling it. We absolutely are, 100%. Yes. I can't wait to meet you at McCarthy's in Carmel, New York this fall. Yes, I'm heading back to New York State, guys. For those of you who don't know, I am heading up to New York State. I'm going to be in upstate New York and downstate New York. I'm going to do the entire state, all 62 counties in September and October. So I'll be seeing all my New Yorkers, and we're going to push this idea. Absolutely. All right, let me keep going if I can. And maybe I can't because I have sorry about that. There we go. Sorry, commercial.
Imagine that on the night of November 3rd, backed up polling sites turn away voters, and several states have large enough stacks of mail-in ballots that they cannot announce their results immediately.
Yep.
Imagine that some procedures or ballots are
God.
contested.
That's my point. Yes. What happens if they can't announce? Or what happens if things are contested? Everyone's going to start conspiracy. Oh my God, it's because of this, because of that. Guys, we're going to be ready for this. We're just going to have to be ready for this. Aaron says, what do you think of Newsmax and One American News? I've been on both of them, believe it or not. I've actually been a guest on both of them. And it's funny, for those who don't know, Newsmax and One American News lean far more right than they do left, far more right. And because of that, many people on the left got mad at me. How can you go on those shows? Well, how can I get my message out to the right? The right's watching those shows. If I don't get my message out to them, how can I get the votes that I need? So of course I went on those shows, absolutely, and they lean very right. Newsmax, depending upon the show, some of the shows have been in the past 2 to 3 years. Some of the shows have just been blatantly pro-Trump, just Trump shows. Some of them have been, not all of them are, but some of them have been really, really heavily Trump shows. So, but I would go on again. I have to get my message out. Absolutely. Is there any libertarian news? You're watching it, Aaron. Didn't you know that? You're watching it. Yes. Free and fair elections do not exist here in the US of A and haven't for a long time. We are a banana republic. Craig, I don't want you to be right. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that because that makes my heart hurt. So I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. That's it. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. Yes. All right. We're in New York. I live in Seneca County, for the first emerged libertarian because of the ineffective leaders in Washington. Teresa, thank you. Welcome aboard. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Come on aboard. Please, if you want to, head over to my Larry Sharpe, Libertarian Facebook page, and all of the events are listed there. You can also go to LarrySharpe.com, events. All the events will be listed there as they come about. There'll be over 60 events coming up here in those 2 months. We'll be doing 2 or 3 every day for multiple days in a row. I'm basically back on the road again. Yes, I am. So off we go.
Imagine that this ends up in courts around the country.
Is it going to go back to the year 2000?
Each state is supposed to decide which party's slate of electors will cast that state's electoral.
So by December 8th, each state's supposed to say what electors are going to be heading down and voting in Washington. What if there's stockpiles of mail-in votes? What if they can't get it all done? What do? Delay? Does that make it an illegal election? Courts are going to be involved. This is going to be messy.
Votes reflecting the official ballot tally. But what if that tally is unclear
or
disputed? Jared Cohen, the author of Accidental Presidents, points out that the election of 2020 could prove to be a toxic combination of the elections of 1876 and 2000. In 1876, 4 states faced serious allegations of irregularities.
There we go.
And the situation was resolved by a backroom deal.
And if there's a backroom deal now, how in the hell are we as a country going to handle that? Could you imagine if there is a backroom deal now? Oh my God, the deep state decided who the president was, and now we're not in charge anymore. Or, oh my God, it's nothing but a problem. I mean, I'm really concerned. Yes, no matter who wins, we're all losers. God, I wish that wasn't true. But yeah, it's a problem, right? Hire more people to count votes prior to the election. Prepare for this. I agree, Troy. I'm with you. I think that's true. The problem that we have is COVID. We've got people who are afraid, people who don't want to go out. You've got government officials who are scared. I'm going to cover that in a second. We're running out of money. The states have to pay for this, right? In my state, New York, we're already tens of billions of dollars in the red just for this year. We were hundreds of billions in the red prior to this year. Where do we find the money? I'm with you. Just, wow. Much easier said than done. We should be preparing for it, though. You're right.
In 2000, a dispute over Florida's ballots led to the Supreme Court intervening in an unprecedented and highly controversial move, settling the election in favor of George W. Bush. But what happens this fall will take place in the midst of the most polarized
COVID is going to trash everything.
Century, and with the hyper accelerant of social media.
There's the other piece.
Now add to this scenario the most worrisome element. The conspiracy theorists who have already been peddling fear and suspicion of the establishment, and specifically warning that the election will be rigged.
That is my concern. I'll end there. You know what the rest is going to be doing. So the point I'm bringing up is we have to be ready, guys. If you consider yourself part of the Liberty world or Liberty movement, expect this to be a tough election. Keep your arms open, keep your brains open, keep your hearts open, because whatever happens in November, it's not going to be good, and we have to give people hope. People who are hopeless are not going to do good things. It's just not how it works, right? They're not going to do good things at all. Absolutely. Not sure if you have covered this, but how do you feel about mail-in voting personally? I don't trust it, and the only way I would trust it is the machine contacted me. The moment my ballot was put in to ask me if I would register. Yeah, I'm not against mail-in voting, right? And there's a difference between what it is, absentee voting and mail-in voting, right? I voted by mail for years. When I was a Marine, my first voting was done via mail. I still remember I sent my ballot to an APO, an air post office in San Francisco, when I was stationed overseas in Asia. So I'm not against the idea of mail-in voting. What I am worried about is making it the standard, and that's what's happening, right? That is a concern, because I don't think we've ever done that before. In the past, we only did mail-in voting for people who would ask for it, right? You'd say, I'm not going to be here. I'm a veteran. I'm a military member overseas, or I'm traveling to Europe at that time, or I'm going to be with my parents in Ohio, but I live in New York. People would ask for a mail-in ballot, and they would get that mail-in ballot, right? And again, to your point, they would go in and say, hey, I'm Larry Sharpe. Here is my ID. Please give me the mail-in ballot. I'm not against that at all. That's fine. Been doing it literally for decades. It's been fine. My worry is a little bit, and I'm not 100% worried about it, but a little bit, is that they're doing mass mailings of ballots. That's a concern, only because we haven't done this before. In theory, Jason, I think we could absolutely find a way of doing it that would make sense, that would be safe. I think we can. But to Troy's point, we're not hiring enough people just to do it the regular way. Now we got to hire people to do this one. I am worried. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. It's not. I don't want people to go there. Larry's against it. I'm not against it. I think people who ask for mail-in absentee ballots should absolutely get it 100%. I don't have a problem at all, right? Doing it, I'm totally fine with that. If you want to, 100%. My worry is this is going to be mass mailings. How do we keep track of that? That's my concern. Do I think we could do it? Yes. And safely? 100%. Are we going to? I don't know. I don't know. That's my concern. And look, if I'm concerned, that means conspiracy theorists are already way on the other side going, it's all about fake this, fake that, fake the other. And I'm just trying to be realistic as a business person, right? Just as a business person, how do you make that work? It's not so easy, is all I'm saying, right? That is a logistical issue that's going to be challenging. That's what I mean by that. It's a logistical issue. So I hope I answered your question at least. Yes. Thank you. Yes. The side that loses will always say it's rigged. Also true. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Are you going to the Americans for Liberty Summit? I'm probably not, right? It's going to be in Texas, I think, coming up here. And I think it's going to be canceled again. They've already canceled the place. They canceled Freedom Fest first. They moved Freedom Fest, then cancel it. They've moved YAL. I'm worried they're going to cancel it. So would I consider going? Maybe. I'll wait about a week and see if it's still on. I might, but odds are no. Odds are I wouldn't. Yes. The left has the audacity to say Trump will not accept the results when they have been attempting coup after coup since November 2016. It's unnerving. What's the solution? The solution's more trust. I wish there was a better answer, right? The solution is more trust. You have to have people trust the system. Right now, so many people are anti-system that the system doesn't matter what it is. You've got to create a different system, which is why so many people are talking about things like blockchain and things like that. I'm not sure blockchain is the answer. I don't know that because the technology is so new. There are many Americans who won't trust that either because they don't understand it. Even though in my view, it is a safer system, this isn't about what's actually safe. This is about what the public believes and trusts, right? So it could be actually a less safe system. If we believe in it, then we'll, trust it. I mean, that's the issue. So it's a valid question. And I think the answer is we have to have more trust. My gut tells me, as I've been saying for literally 5 years now, the answer is a third party that is seen as not in either camp, that is seen as, no, we just want everyone to be free and you can do what you want, left or right, just be free. Hopefully, then the left will go, well, I don't trust those guys on the right, but these libertarians, all right, I guess they'll be fine on this. That will garner more trust. People will be fine. Let's trust these guys. I think trust is the answer. That's really the answer. I'm active duty, have been for 25 years. They only count absentee ballots if the overall vote doesn't have a clear winner. Oh, there we go. So maybe that's how it works. I don't think they can do that now. Can they, though? I mean, I hope that's not true, Troy, because it's going to be a lot of people voting by mail. I would bet in some counties, probably more will be voting by mail than not by mail because of COVID is what my assumption. I don't know that to be true, but my gut tells me that will be true. If they go down that route, we got a problem. I mean, we got a problem, right? They need to be counting all the votes because, I mean, could be huge. And if, Trump voters think that it's rigged, you might find that a bunch of the mail-in votes might only be Democrats, right? Because the Trump voters might think, oh, it's going to be rigged. I don't want to give it because they're going to steal my vote or something like that. If that's true, right? Again, I don't know that to be true. But if that's true, then how's that going to look if they count the absentee ballots? Oh, and it's 90% Democrat. That would look bad too. So I hope they count them all either way. So for the presidential preference primary march in my county, the supervisor of elections had a lot of poll volunteers call out. They further consolidated voting locations for the upcoming primary in August. If things surrounding COVID and government reaction to COVID numbers, I'm concerned about voting opportunity come November. I agree with you, Joe. I think it is a concern. I am concerned. Yes. I am good with the regular way. I will be in line this November if they allow it. Yeah, I am too, right? My polling station, I'm lucky. I don't know if I'm lucky, but I live in Queens in New York City. So literally I can just walk to my polling station. It's a school that's about 8 blocks away. I walk 8 blocks and there's my polling station. So for me, it's very easy. I can just walk there and walk back. That's one of the advantages of living in New York City. So do you think Biden will get up debating? Maybe use it as if I'm Biden's, look, I'm not a Democrat, not a fan of Biden at all. I'm just telling you, if I was Biden's manager, he's not debating. He's not debating. Right now, he's winning in the polls. So if you trust the polls, why would you go gamble and debate? Trump might eat his lunch. I don't want that to happen. Biden fumbles all the time. He's a gaffe machine. Why in the world would I put a gaffe machine on the stage? If I'm Biden, I'm getting sick. I'm with you, Hannah. If I'm Biden, might have the COVID. I am not showing up in those debates. No way. Winning in the polls right now. Come on. Why would you debate? I wouldn't if I was him. There's no way I'm showing up. He's a gaffe machine. That guy's going to make massive mistakes. And Trump's going to be ready for him. I'm going to trap him. I'm going to beat him up badly. Not touching that. But there is one thing, look, to be forward. If Biden's goal is to motivate Democrats, and I guess there is a spin to this, Hannah, that maybe they see that I don't see, maybe they want. If Biden's goal is to motivate Democrats, if that's their goal, then all Biden has to do is come out yelling at Trump, and Democrats will eat that up like there's no tomorrow. Democrats love angry Biden. When he's threatening to beat up Trump, take him out back in the shed. Boy, Democrats love that. That's candy for Democrats. Like, give me more, give me more, give me more. So if Biden's going to come out and talk policy, he's going to screw that all up. If Biden comes out and goes, I'll beat you up, come here, old man. If he's doing that, Democrats will love that. So I guess if that's his plan, all right, Biden, go out there and be angry Biden. Democrats will eat that up. But otherwise, I wouldn't if I was him. So I wouldn't be surprised. So, all right. Our government couldn't deliver money in the stimulus without excluding dead people. How would I trust? I would only trust the private company to handle it. You might be right, John. And maybe that's the answer. See? Hey, Troy, maybe we don't hire people. Maybe we hire a company. Right? Maybe a couple of the big accounting firms. Right? Maybe even 2 of them to watch each other. Not a bad deal, right? They get press for it. We give them some marketing value, sponsored by whatever, KPMG or whatever, right? It's not a bad deal, John. It's actually not a bad plan at all. Not a bad plan at all. All right, I want to cover the opposite side of this. That was Fareed just talking about how, you know, everything's a conspiracy theory from the left. Here's the opposite. Here is Lou Dobbs on Fox Business News.
Ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, member of the House Ways and Means Committee.
This is Nunes.
A leading light in what has been the darkness of Obamagate for almost 4 years.
He says Obamagate.
Great to have you with us. What more can you tell?
More and more Obamagate now. This is another conspiracy everyone's putting together. Everything is about Russia or Ukraine or Biden or Obama or Trump or Flynn. Who can we trust? I mean, the question you asked is a good one. Who do we trust? It's hard. These guys can't all be right? Every conspiracy theory can't be correct. It will be impossible. They can't all be right. Maybe they're all wrong. The odds, I tell you all the time, I think they're all wrong, but based on some kernel of fact. Those are the strongest ones. Do I think that Biden and Obama and Trump and whatever have corrupt people in their world? 100% yes. No doubt in my mind. There's corrupt people there. Of course, it's government. It's how it works. So yeah, let me keep going here real fast.
Also about your investigation.
Investigation. Everyone's under investigation.
To the sub-source, if you will, for the discredited dossier.
They use words like dossier.
Course, that's been perpetrated by the FBI, the special counsel, and the Justice Department.
This goes to the point I wanted to bring this up, that you talked about how do we get out of this, trust. Now we don't trust the FBI. Now we don't trust the State Department. Now we don't trust, special prosecutors. Don't get me wrong. I never trusted them. But I'm a libertarian. I'm not supposed to trust them. But the average Democrat and average Republican is supposed to trust government, right? I mean, they vote for it. They love big government. They're supposed to trust them. When the average Democrat and average Republican can't trust the FBI, can't trust courts, can't trust special prosecutors, we're in trouble. And that was the piece I really wanted to bring up. And Nunes is part of the government. He doesn't even back down.
Well, Lou, I would just say, just when you think this can't get any more crazy, it does get crazier, and it gets much worse. So now what we have here is that we have the Brookings Institute, a left-wing think tank.
Now we have think tanks, right? Now, look, I know a lot of people aren't Nunes' fan. I'm not a fan either, but it doesn't matter. As a general rule, he's part of the government. So what's he supposed to do? He's not. But he's supposed to be defending the government, isn't he? He should be saying, well, the courts say this, and, the FBI information is that. He doesn't. He's actually not supporting the government that he works for. Why would I trust the government if I voted for this guy? If I'm supporting this guy and he doesn't support the government, why the hell would I? All of our foundations and all our institutions that we're supposed to believe in, we don't. I know it's a bad sounding one. I know it is. I'm sorry it sounds so bad this time. I just wanted to bring this up because I saw it this week and I kept thinking about how everyone is just trying, no matter what happens, we get thrown to a right-left paradigm, and that's it. It's a right-left paradigm, and everything is bad, and that's it. And it just seems terrible. Yes. All right, hold on. There are 5 states that only do mail-in voting and have done so for long. Is that true? I didn't even know that. Only do mail-in. I had no idea. So see, there's ways you can make it work, right? It can be done, right? I'm not sure these states who haven't done it before can. Maybe, Javier, they'll find it and do it the right way. I believe it can be done. I really do. I think Kennedy, Judge Nat, Stossel, and Reason are great libertarian news. Of course, my favorite is Larry Sharpe. Thank you. Yes. Kennedy's show is canceled for COVID, isn't it? I think so. Yes. Yeah. Seeing talk about canceling the president's debate due to the Rona. Yes, absolutely, Craig. Look, I saw an interview with Biden the other day, and they were like, "Do you commit to 3?" He's like, "I commit. I can't wait. I'm gonna get him." Of course, he's gonna say that. But behind the scenes, they're like, nope. But of course, he's going to, show the Democrats, I'm going to beat him up. And if you've ever watched Joe Biden get the most press, get Democrats to love him the most, it is when he is hardcore anti-Trump, right? The problem that we're having now also is the facts don't matter, right? We have all these conspiracy theories out there, but when it comes to left and right, they don't actually care. And it may sound crazy, but I see it. I see people say, I live in New York City, and people will tell me all the time, how can you not vote for Biden? Trump is this bad thing, that bad thing, the other bad thing, the other bad thing. And I say, first off, I'm not voting for either of them. I'm voting Libertarian, I'm voting for Joe Jorgensen. So I don't really care. That's number one. But number two, even if I was going to vote for Trump, you telling me how bad Biden is doesn't make me, how bad Trump is, doesn't make me want to vote for Biden. It will make me hate my vote for Trump more. And the reverse is true. If I was going to vote for Biden, you tell me how bad he is, I'm not going to always vote for Trump. I would just hate my vote for Biden even more. And that's what's happening, right? People, I wouldn't believe it. Since we're voting against someone and not for someone, making my guy bad, I have the same excuse. Well, this is not your guy, right? If you hate Trump, and Democrats hate Trump, if you guys are Democrats or no Democrats, you know what I'm talking about. They hate him. So it doesn't matter who Biden is. Biden's a placeholder. I said before, he could be a ham sandwich. They would vote for him because not Trump equals good. That's how they see it. And the people who just love Trump is the best. Everything against him is a lie, or is some kind of conspiracy, or is some kind of, a fake news. We have to find a reason to vote for somebody else. And yes, third party is the only answer. 100%. Yes, absolutely. So how do we avoid becoming helpless, leading to feeling helpless? Hopeless. Sorry. Thank you. How do we avoid becoming hopeless, leading to helpless? Yes. I feel like it's the overall vibe in the entire nation. Missy, yes, it is, which is why you see me keep doing this all the time. And I'm asking you all to be there for those people. Someone's got to be there when this happens. Someone's got to provide the hope. That's us. That's you. That's me. That's you, Missy. That's Joy. That's Joe. That's Craig. That's Troy. That's all of us. We're the ones that have to provide that hope so that people come to us and don't become helpless and either check out or turn to violence, because what else will they do, right? So I don't want them to check out. I don't want them to turn to violence. They got to come to us. We have to give them hope, and I think we can. Absolutely. Yes. To add to Joe's point, poll volunteers are generally above 70 years old. Yes, I see it in mine all the time. Many of them are senior citizens. And if they're scared because they're seniors, and if you're a senior citizen with a pre-existing condition, you should be scared. COVID is going to devastate you if that's who you are. I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want my grandma or my dad or my mom to go. I wouldn't want them to go. I'd be like, no, Ma, stay home. I wouldn't want her to go. So yeah, I agree. So let's be honest. People voting for Biden are really voting for his VP. I'm unsure about that, Pat. I've heard that before, right? I've heard that. I'm unsure. I don't know if the VP will be doing anything. I think it's a team, right? I think the people who've gotten behind Biden, whoever they are, I don't know who they are. I think that team's kind of running the show, and they're trying to find the right VP who will fall align in with them, right? So I think whether Biden does his full 4, if he does 8, whatever he does, the VP obviously will try to take over. But I think the group of people, the cabal who's trying to keep, Biden in power, I think they're the ones in charge. That's my gut, right? I think that team has gotten behind him. I think that's it. So yeah. All right. Joe Biden ain't talking to me. He ain't talking to a lot of people. That's for sure. Yes. He ain't talking to a lot. Yes, absolutely. So, oh God, it's Lou. Where's my teeth? That's actually kind of funny. So yes. All right. Let's see. They can do debates via. Oh, you could, Dave. You're right. They could do debates via Skype or Zoom or Slack, but they won't. At least, I'm sorry. If I'm Biden, they won't. Yes. Quarter of the night, he could be a ham sandwich. It's true. Janie, it would change nothing. All right, I want to change a little bit if I could. I want to move over to, this is Fox News Sunday, talking about, you know, the money that's going to be coming out here or not coming out and how this works. And there's a big problem here too.
Joining us now, Secretary of the Treasury, Stephen Mnuchin. Mr. Secretary,
He's out.
welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
House Democrats passed their relief bill back in May, fully
Talking about the relief
months
bill
ago. But here we are, the last week in July, and the White House and Senate Republicans still can't agree on just a GOP package.
Now, here's the problem that I have here. There's no other answer but a package. This is simply, what kind of package will we have? There's no real plan to fix anything, no real plan for the future. It's just, what kind of Band-Aid will we get today? And it sounds almost like Chris Wallace is saying the Democrats are better because they've got their Band-Aid and their gift first, which makes them better. That's what he's actually saying. This is Fox News. And they're saying, well, why can't you give us the money faster? And because you're going to give us the money, right? Give us the money, right? And the Republicans looked upon as bad in this case. Why? Because they aren't giving the money fast enough. Well, look, I'm not trying to be anti-Democrat here, but when it comes to giving away money, Democrats are better at it. Just they have a better skill set. They're going to be faster, right? They're good at this. This is their skill set. So they were ready. They were like, boom, money giveaway. That's our thing. That's what we do. Boom, it was ready. The Republicans were like, oh, we're going to give away money to our military-industrial complex cronies. Oh, this is tough, giving money to everybody. We don't do that well. They've got to come up with their way of doing it because they're only good with military-industrial complex cronies. So, in any case, the point I'm bringing, I'm teasing obviously, but I'm bringing the point is the only answer is how fast can you give the money away? Meanwhile,
A federal ban on evictions ran out yesterday.
Yep.
Federal unemployment benefits run out on Friday, and the last.
What's wrong with you?
Gone out, and the payroll protection program for businesses is run.
So what are you doing to put a Band-Aid on these? Not realizing that the fact that there has to be an eviction ban is a problem. The fact you have to have all these unemployment benefits is a problem. The fact that you have payroll protection plan program is a problem. Note, no one's talking about how do we fix these problems. We're saying, how do we extend these programs? Yet again, government programs that are supposed to be temporary. No, not really.
Coming out early next month. Here's Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
What's wrong with you
They have
guys?
been so divided, so disorganized, so unprepared that they have struggled to even draft a partisan proposal within their own conference.
Well, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Chuck Schumer is one of the best people when it comes to giving free money out. He's really good at that. And give free money, he was on it. Boom, came right out. That's his skill set. Credit where credit is due.
They can't come together.
Won't millions of Americans and millions of businesses pay the price because the White House and Senate Republicans can't get your act together?
I just want you to kind of absorb that for a second. Just absorb that for a minute. Isn't America going to pay because you guys can't give the money out fast enough? Will you please just crank up the money printer? God, you've got the money printer. Just print the money and give it to us already. What's wrong with you? This is Fox News saying it now. I would expect that from CNN. I'd be like, yep, CNN, perfect. That is right in line. Makes sense. Now I'm hearing it from Fox News also. And now Mnuchin, he's not even going to defend it. He's going to be like, you're right. We got to give the money away.
Well, Chris, first let me say I think that's an unfair characterization.
We give money away.
The administration and the Senate Republicans are completely on the same page.
See that? It's a mischaracterization. We want to give a bunch of money away. We can't wait to crank the money printer. Stop saying that. And you wonder why so many libertarians say they're the same party. Again, be very clear. Democrats are better at giving free money away to everybody. Bored with that. Boom, they hit it. Republicans aren't as good at that. But they're saying, no, we're good at it too. instead of saying, you're right, we don't want to give everything away. No, this is a bad idea. They're like, no, we will.
Mark Meadows and I were up yesterday just working on technical issues in the drafts.
Yep.
We had previously agreed on all these issues earlier in the week.
So we're working hard to give money away. This is Republicans now, guys. This is now Republicans.
We want to move forward quickly.
Yep.
The bill will be introduced Monday, and we're prepared to act quickly. This is all about kids and jobs. This is our focus.
What about the children? This is about kids and jobs. What about the children? For every one of you conservatives, every one of you Republicans who thought your party was so different than Democrats, the Democrats always go, what about the children? You just heard Steve Mnuchin do, what about the children? It's both, guys. It's both. You're both doing the same thing. You're both cranking out the money, crank it all out. Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. What about the children?
And we want to make sure something gets passed quickly so that we deal with the unemployment and all the other issues, paycheck protection plan, tax. Deal
with unemployment, but he didn't mean fix the economy to have more jobs. There's no plan for that, right? And not just him. I don't want to just, it is him and no one else. So no one has a plan to fix the jobs. No one does. So their plan is just how to make unemployment insurance better.
Credits to rehire people and money for schools.
Money for schools. What about the children?
But Mr. Secretary, the plan was supposed to be announced on Wednesday, then Thursday. Now it's next week.
What's wrong with you? Speed up the machine.
And it's 2 months after the Democrats came up with their plan, and now you're going to have to start negotiating.
2 months, the Democrats, when it came to giving money away, were first out of the gate. They were there. This is their skill set. And what you guys can't keep up with Democrats. What's wrong with you?
Negotiating with Democrats now that you have a Republican plan. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Friday, hopefully we can come together behind some package we can agree on in the next few weeks.
Yep.
And here's White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows.
We're trying to make sure that we hit the immediate needs first and then continue to negotiate perhaps throughout most of August until we get something finished.
So he's talking about multiple ways of giving out money. So we'll give out money a bunch now, then a bunch later, and a bunch all the way to the election. We're all going to give out money. No one is even concerned about not giving the money out. The question is how fast and how much, but the money's coming.
So do you have a GOP plan that will be announced tomorrow? And then what are laid off workers and what are struggling businesses supposed to do while you spend, as the White House Chief of Staff just said, until sometime in August, negotiating with Democrats?
What are we going to do without government? What are we going to do without government? How can we possibly survive without government? This is mainstream media. You know CNN already. I'm not going to show you the CNN part of this. You know CNN's already on this, right? That's a done deal. They're worse than this. You know that. Fox 2, all about give the money out.
Say we do have an entire plan. It's $1 trillion. And let me just remind everybody that of the $3 trillion we've already passed, we have about $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion still left to put into the economy.
Look at that. We got more to put in.
Very, very large amounts of money working with Congress to support this. And what Mark Meadows was saying is that within the $1 trillion package, there are certain things that have timeframes that are a bigger priority. So we could look at doing an entire deal. We could also look at doing parts. So obviously the most pressing issue.
We'll put $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, $1 trillion all over the place. And the funny part is, at one point, and you guys heard me say this before, and I'll keep saying it. At one point, who cares? You get so far in debt. Who cares? Right? At one point, you're so far in debt. You're $27 trillion in debt, $28 trillion in debt, 30. You're never paying that back. Just throw another one on top. Keep going. Keep going. Keep on. Keep going. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let me see if I can grab a couple of these. They're all lying all the time to sell advertising. Yes. They have to stimulate our reactive mind. That's why behind the new libertarian media. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. I appreciate it. Absolutely. After watching Barr on TV, you do not need a degree in bioenergy. He wasn't telling the truth. Why would he? Why would any of them, not just Barr, all right? People think I'm picking on one. I'm not. I'm picking on the whole system. Why would any of them? What's the value for them? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. If you're a whistleblower, you go to jail, right? You get pilloried and destroyed by the media if you tell the truth, right? So you can't be a whistleblower. If you actually tell the truth, people don't believe you. They believe the lie more than the truth. And if you tell the truth, no one else will follow you. They'll all act like you're still lying. So I don't know why. Yeah, absolutely. So far, we know all the roads lead with this current administration. Guess where the roads lead if he stays in office? Yeah, absolutely. I see a lot of people, including Biden, talk trash about Trump, but very little about their own candidate or platform, including Joe fans. I agree, right? And again, this goes back to the point. They don't care about Biden. They just care it's not Trump. You ask the average Biden supporter, what's his policy? They don't know. I'm not making that. I'm not being flippant when I say that. It's true. Ask the average Biden supporter, what's his plan? And they go, well, he wants to help us out with healthcare. Great. Is he for Medicare for all? They won't know. You know why they won't know? Because Biden doesn't know. He hasn't decided on that yet. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. He might not. Doesn't need to. He's not Trump. Win. That's it. He could be a ham sandwich. It doesn't matter what his policies are. Is he going to, support Ukraine and invade Ukraine? They don't know. They don't care. It doesn't matter. He's not Trump. That's it. He's not Trump. Doesn't matter. Is he going to make the military-industrial complex better? Does he have a plan, a real plan to make policing better? No. And they don't know. And they don't know. They're going to go, yeah, he does. What is it? They don't know. They have no idea. Neither does he. Doesn't matter. He could be a ham sandwich. It's relevant. Doesn't matter. Yes. So why can't the majority, Republicans and Democrats, just give us one election? Try something different. Most don't trust their government leaders and vote solely against someone else rather than for someone they agree with. Here's the biggest reason, Travis, and I bring this up always, and people hate it when I say it. Elections are popularity contests. I know. I've been through a big one. I know how it works. I've been on that side. It is a popularity contest. That's what it is. We have to be more popular. If we're more popular and they believe we could win. For example, one of the reasons why Perot did so well in the 90s, right? And he was not a great candidate. He did so well because people knew him and people thought maybe he could win. If they think you could win, then you're not a wasted vote. And then people will vote for you. They want to vote for a winner. They want their vote to count. They want to hope to win. It's like a lottery ticket for them. My vote's a lottery ticket. I put it in. I got a shot to win. Sadly, that's how most people think. So we've got to be popular enough. I tease about Kanye, but Kanye can make real impact because Kanye has enough money and enough media that he could get the free earned media that Trump got in 2016. Kanye could have gotten in 2020. I'm not sure he still can. I don't really know if he's been serious, but in theory, at least, in theory, he could have gotten the same amount. With all of that free earned media, plus his own millions, plus the friends and money that he knows, the Kardashians, all the money they have, I think you could go on their shows. People could believe that Kanye could win. If they believe it, they would vote for him. That's why Kanye will get tons of votes. If he actually does run, he'll get votes and he'll be in debate stage. Why? Because people want to watch Kanye debate. So the answer is the same thing. We have to be more popular. I know that sounds terrible because we need to be more principled. We don't need to be more principled. We need to be more popular. We need to have better spokespeople. That's true, but still more popular. We need to have better policies. Also true, but more popular, right? If we have better policies and better spokesperson, that's great. Still need popularity. So popularity is key. The other things are important also, but we have to have that. I mean, there's no doubt we've got to be more popular. I hope that was at least clearer, I guess. So do it, insert thing here for the children. Yes, I mean, this is a thing that Republicans used to tease Democrats about. Now Republicans do it too, right? Well, they've always done it, but at least now it's open, Yes. Dems give it all away. Republicans give slightly less than all the way, and to specific people, right? When it comes to massive giveaways, Democrats are awesome. They know exactly how to do that. When it comes to targeted, Republicans got that one down. So that's where they struggle, right? That's where they struggle. But they give away all the time. Absolutely. So 2 wings of the same bird. Thank you. Absolutely. Good. All right. Let's see if I can grab this. There is really no such thing as a temporary government program. Yes, Ronald Reagan said a government program was the closest thing to internal life. I love that. Absolutely. So let's see. Let's grab a couple more if I could. I don't care what part of there. I just want to bit on the couch. Hey, you guys, back to the couch. I thought the couch thing was done. Is that still a thing? You guys were like that was like 3 years ago or something. Way behind the curve on that one. Why don't you just ask me about the, start doing airline jokes or something? Way weak. All right. See if I can do it. Find this. Let's see. Christine Vargo, 2 sides of the same coin, or there is a dime's the difference between them two. I like both of those two. I like that. I love that idea. Love it completely. All right. We did do it for the children piece already. Okay. Nancy Pelosi said today she would rather have given away money to the middle class than propping up the stock market with the rest of the money. Both Presidents Obama and Trump have basically made a bad stock market look good by pumping cash into it. The part stolen from leadership. Yes. And the worst part is, if you look at countries like Japan, Japan has been more open about their central bank buying up big companies. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's much more open. People are now doing it, right? They're okay with it. The people are okay with it. The culture's okay with it. Japanese people are fine with it. Like, yeah, go do it. We haven't been. What they're doing now, some of you may not know this, is our central bank, which is the Fed. People won't tell you that. Our central bank is buying up stock in big companies. And what are these companies doing? Thank you for the money. And they're either buying back their own stock and now the stock market looks great. So the stock market looks great, even though the economy is a disaster. Why? Because the Fed now they're cranking out money to prop up big companies. Well, they'll crank money to prop up big companies in 5 seconds. If you're going to crank the machine, crank it for us. If you're going to crank it, but they won't. It's bad. So, yes, this is our Secretary of Treasury. Yes, absolutely. 100%. It is really a bad idea. So what are you going to do? See if I can grab a couple more of these. You don't remember who Bush Jr. dodged the shoe? Yes, I do remember that. Yes, absolutely. Yep. All righty. Let's see here if I can keep going this. If I can grab a couple more of these. You guys have a lot of, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All the things you're saying, I do appreciate that. Without government, we could get along better. I would agree. I agree. 100%. I agree. All right. Where can I buy it? Where can I keep going here? What does Biden actually know? Becca, I'm unsure. I really am unsure. I think maybe he is just looking at, trying to copy the Obama years. The thing you have to remember about many people who are Democrats right now, if they're able to have Trump lose and Biden win now, in their mind, they can say Trump never happened. It was an anomaly. It was a freak. This is, the rest of, what was supposed to happen. This was just, Obama, third term of Obama. It's a very big emotional win for them. It's an emotional win for Democrats. It really is. Let me grab, if I could, one more. I want to head on over to, if I could, this is something very interesting. This is a little bit, if I can, from John Oliver. John Oliver is talking about what we should care about, what's important. He's talking about the Uyghurs in China. But hear what he's saying. It makes a lot of sense.
Isn't just about Trump, is it? Going forward, the entire global community needs to do more. The UN should have independent investigators looking into what China has done in Xinjiang.
One of the things he's brought up this time, and I'm not a huge fan of John Oliver, and a lot of people are, but the thing he brought up that made a lot of sense is he talks about the idea of let's not just make it about Trump. And that's what I'm trying to do. If you want to make real change, whatever that is, let's change systems. Now, I'm not with what John Oliver is saying here. I'm not saying we should change it, make a UN system. I'm not saying that. But his idea is the right idea. Let's stop just going, Trump is evil, and get rid of him. If you want to get rid of Trump, fine, get rid of Trump. I'm not going to, cry if Trump loses. I'm not going to cry if Trump wins. I'm going to cry if we don't change our system, because that's the problem, right? If Trump loses in November, we had another bad guy. So what? Who cares? We have the guy who follows the same bad system. We have to change our systems. And this is the thing that he's absolutely right about.
Governments around the world should be speaking out about the treatment of the Uyghurs without bending to China's economic influence. And big multinational companies like Nike and VW should not only be working to clean up their supply chains, but also actively using their financial leverage to pressure the Chinese government to end these abuses. But
yes, note what he just said. And this is not like John Oliver. If you guys know John Oliver, he is all about laws, rules, socialism, Bernie. He actually said what really should happen. Companies should act. We should be talking, letting people know what China is doing. In this case, the Uyghurs, but there are many different things China is doing that's bad. Letting people know so that we act financially and that we punish China financially, which is what I've been saying for months. People ask me all the time, how do you deal with China? What John Oliver finally actually said. This was last weekend. John Oliver, actually semi-mainstream media, HBO. So semi-mainstream media, right? Talking about how we actually fix these things. It's not a bunch of laws. It's not bombs. It's not war. It's not tariffs. It's letting people know what China's doing, to include the Uyghurs, which, for those who don't know, they're an ethnic minority in Northwest China. But all the other things that China is doing, so that the American people go, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to buy those crayons in Walmart for 25 cents. I'm going to buy the American ones for 50 cents. Maybe I'll do that. And the second we make that change as the American population, as the American consumer, we make that change, we will be able to punish China effectively and anyone else who does bad things, and they'll have to change. We will not only punish them, which is only the first part, but we'll actually be able to push them into actual change, to care about the things that we care about, whether that's intellectual property or slave labor or, COVID, whatever you're mad about for China, you pick it. Yelling at them and coming up with tariffs and coming up with, threatening their neighbors is not the answer. The answer is using the power of the American consumer and the American company to pressure them to do the right thing. That is the right answer. And I'm going to be very for him. I'm very shocked, but I'm going to say it. In this case, John Oliver was right. Yes. So look, I'm trying to always give credit where credit is due whenever I possibly can. That is my goal. If I can, I try to give everybody the right credit whenever possible. All right. Here, buy products made in Taiwan. Yes. Total answer. Yes. That could be it right there. Absolutely. That totally could be it. Absolutely. So, guys, I want to say thank you for this evening. I appreciate it. I do really want you guys, if at all possible, like, comment, share. As always, please do it. It does matter. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on YouTube. And if at all possible, head on over to patreon.com/sharpeway. If you like what I'm doing, if you think I'm the new media, and I hope you do, if you think my media is valuable, and I hope you do, head over to patreon.com/sharpeway and throw me a couple bucks, $10, $25, whatever you can do. It helps to keep this show going. And as you know, I'm trying to do it, if I can, 5 days a week. Have a good night, guys. I will see you all tomorrow.